All right, this is Marcus Harbin, December 2017, and I would just like to um, make a video about my story. So after, around 21, 22, I read a few books that were recommended, or not recommended, but spoke of by people that I looked up to, as far as where they were financially stable as an adult, and I was a young adult, and I read those books. Well, those books allowed me to think properly in the society, when it comes to finances, when it comes to daily living, the way you think, the way you can control your thoughts, every morning, every day, going into the day with a certain type of energy. It instead of it being by luck, oh, this is a good day, or me realizing, hey, I'm talking lighter, I'm feeling better. It actually allowed me to understand why I felt better on those days and why I felt bad on some days. So I was able to control that. So I was working again at Walmart, and after Ray had given me some insights on where people get their wealth from, I started to look at life differently. So from that point on, I come into work every day, especially after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. I come into work with a very, very powerful type of energy. I was feeling down. I had some personal things going on with me and my family, household, but it had allowed me to only worry about now, what I can control at the moment right now. So they call it the circle of concern, I believe, or circle of influence, what you can actually influence or change right now in this moment. So again, with that energy coming in, smiling every day, I still had on slacks. Khakis. Khakis and a blue t-shirt, you got to wear at Walmart. But I mean, it was a enlightenment that I had at the time. So people started to realize, and what I thought was, hey, I'm working in electronics. There's a lot of people who, I was like, man, how do you get money to get an iPad? How do you get money? That's literally how I thought. Like, people are coming in and buying laptops and 55-inch televisions, 2010. How do you do that? Oh, I bet they have a nice house, great job. So what I did was I said, hey, I'm going to stand out from the rest of the people in the store so that people will be curious or possibly hire me. So every day I came in with this spark, and it worked. I started treating, when I was doing customer service, I wasn't just pointing people or showing them. I was really giving them my insight on the product that we're getting. Like I was getting paid commission, but I wasn't. And before you know it, Christmas came, so we're getting a lot of extra hours. And a guy came in, I was helping a lot of people, and I was really getting in the groove. I was excited, I was very excited, every day about helping people and, trying to get people to offer me a job, So then I met a guy, very busy, met a guy and his friend. It was two guys. They were probably early to mid 30s, looked like businessmen, and they were looking for, gosh, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I know we were on the discount hour where they had I think it was televisions or monitors or something, it was, and I was kind of pointing them. I don't think it was a cord. I think it was like the markdown monitors or televisions or portable DVD players, something like that. And they look like business people. I came at them with that energy, and they realized it. People at Walmart usually aren't excited. They're usually blah, very, very blind. You know what I mean? But I didn't have that. It was almost like I knew that something was going to give. This was just, and as I was helping them out, I got to talk to them, and the friend actually recognized, my presentation, and he was like, what do you do? You going to school, man? I'm like, yeah, going to school. He's like, what are you going to school for? I told him marketing. At the time, it was marketing. Originally, I was going for electronic engineering, which was my dream, so I was little. Long story short, switched over to marketing, and I told him it was marketing. He said, really? So I'm still coming up with the enthusiasm. I'm talking to the other guy who wasn't as talkative, but I was kind of helping him out, and his buddy who was with him, again, both businessmen, his buddy who was with him was very curious, and he was just, he was very engaging, he was very engaging. So he was just paying attention to me, trying to see, okay, who is this kid? What do he have going on? As he's just at the store with, again, the other guy who wasn't talking so much. He was just there, just probably best friends, and hey, going to Walmart. So he was like, really, marketing? He was like, huh? He was like, I was like, yeah, marketing. And he was like, what made you want to be in marketing? I said, well, I understand. I've always wanted to do marketing. I want to, be out and about, when I'm working. That's my goal, is to not be behind the office. I really want to be out and about. And I heard there's, good money in it. And he said, he just kind of looked at me. He's like, well, it's funny you say that. As I was about to start talking to the other guy again, he's like, man, it's funny you say that, because he actually has a marketing business. And then the other guy looked like, like, why are you, what are you doing? That's what he was saying, looking. That's how he was acting towards his buddy when he mentioned that. He was like, he has a marketing business, and I told him about an internship. I was looking for an internship. That was my, what my goal to start out. He was like, man, he has a marketing business. The other guy looked like, dude, what are you doing, So he was like, and the other guy's kind of sitting there, and he like passed it on to him, and I look at him, and he's just like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. I was like, yeah, cool. And he was like, how about this? It's the friend. How about this? You write down my email address. He was like, write down my email address. And he said, shoot us over an email. Shoot me an email when you get home. Shoot me an email when you get home, and I will be sure to get it to him. And then you all can set a time to meet up. This is his friend setting the thing up for him. And I said, okay, great. So when we got to the register, I wrote down the email address, and he was like, and his buddy, he was like, I'm serious. He was like, shoot me that email. I'll make sure he gets it, And again, the other guy, he just didn't talk very much. When I got home, I was excited, and I had been, since I had changed my attitude, I had been getting responses. I had a lady, literally my LinkedIn account is from a magazine, a lady that worked for a magazine company. She was like, you are beautiful, She was like, you're beautiful, have you ever thought about modeling, this and that? And I was like, no, and I was real big on, getting a haircut around this time. I was like, man, I want to get my haircut every week. She was like, man, you're beautiful. She was like, do you have a LinkedIn account? And I was like, no. She was like, here, I'll set you up right now. She literally set it up right there, like right in front of the laptops, right at Walmart Electronics. And I still have that account to this day. And she was like, I'm going to send you what's your email address? She was like, I'm sending, and she basically added me to her email. So, I would get continuous emails about, it was Brides Magazine or something like that. But anyway, I had started getting responses from people getting iPads, exactly what I had imagined. And when I got home, I was excited, and I sent over I was like, man, I felt successful already, literally, because I thought it, and it started happening. So usually when you just go to electronics, you clock out, you clock out. There's nothing else to look forward to. But when I put that in my head, an actual goal, something I was going towards, it made it very, very interesting. Very interesting. Um, and then it's something just, it's something that a lot of people wouldn't think about. You wouldn't even think about normally. So, I mean, just outside the box, thinking outside the box. And I mean, it got to the point to where every single person recognized my enthusiasm, and every person had given me a card, etc. At least when they're looking for iPads, electronic, business people. They were all asking, just like people do now, what do you do? Or what are you doing? Are you going to school? So I sent him the email. I believe it was the next morning. I want to say it was that night, honestly. I'm pretty sure it was that night. Sent him an email, and I was expecting a response like 30 seconds, but obviously, busy man. The next day, maybe two, the guy shot me a text back or email back, and he had said, I was checking my email every morning. The guy shot me an email back, and he said, I received it. He said, I received it, and I'm going to send it to So, it sent me an email back. He said, I received your email. I'm going to send the information to him, right? So, I mean, this guy, he was a go-getter. He was a doer, And I was like, great. I was like, that's great news. So at that point, I was at Walmart like, hey, I'm out of here, any minute now, I'm out of here. Long story short, the guy who had the marketing business, he called me. We met up at a Louis, actually. A Louis. Again, I was just under 21. And, come in, and he was there and his friend was there. It's like me and Louis, I didn't even know where it was in Edmond. And we met out there. And I mean, the environment was it was not the environment I was used to, but, I loved the vibe. It's business people, getting off work, people in the, burbs, the people in the burbs, coming to grab something to eat. The meals are probably, no telling, $15-20, but it was nothing like a place where I would be, So I love the vibe, and, we were sitting at one of the tall tables. It was him and his buddy was, he was just like, dude, this kid, he showed up, he came. So he was excited about me getting the job, right? His buddy's still very, very mellow. That was just his personality. So long story short, they just asked, my story, where am I from, what am I doing? I just told them, hey, I'm from Tulsa, moved out to Edmond to go to college, and I'm trying to pay my way as I go through school. I want to do the debt-free thing. I hadn't started that yet at the time, but that was my goal. I said, I'm not going back anymore. I'd seen that bill, had some friends graduate before me, heard the story. I said, I'm not doing it. So that was my goal, and I obviously at Walmart, that's a long shot, but they recognized that. They recognized the ambition. Told them I was working 2 jobs because I was, forgot to mention, I was working at Hobby Lobby distribution and Walmart. And it was nuts. And I think that may have just ended. But I was getting 3 hours of sleep, literally 3 hours of sleep, falling asleep, driving home, literally, couldn't stop myself from closing my eyes. It was that bad, lack of sleep. But I had to, but that had just, I want to say that was still going on, or that had just ended. No, but anyways, guy, I told him I was going to school, trying to pay my way through school as I go. And he asked a little bit more, and I said, well, I told him where I was at. I was in my second year at the time, or going on, just out of my second year. And he said, great. Well, he basically, handed it over to his friend and was like, all right, go ahead and go. And his friend told me that he had a magazine publication, and he go business to business selling magazine ads. And he basically gave me a whole spiel of business, how it works, and I was pretty excited. He said it would be an internship for me. Very excited, man. Very excited that what I thought actually happened. Like, I thought it, from nothing, from talking to Ray, reading the book, and I literally changed my attitude and thought of something, and it happened, So, long story short, the guys asked me, do you drink whatever? They get a little beer or whatever. I'm like, well, and the guy's like, dude, he's 20, So, long story short, we get to talking. He told me how it works, and I'm excited. Like, I've never had a job to where you didn't have to stand at a register, So, I was excited. And the guy seen my enthusiasm. He's seen it. He's seen the, I guess, the potential, as they would say. And his words were, when he passed the buck back over, and he kind of told me what it was, and basically was saying, would you be interested? And they both looking, and I'm like, heck yeah. Like, what kind of question is that? I would do it for free, I'm in, internship, I'm in. So the guy, so then the other guy kind of picked it back up. Excuse me. The other guy picked it back up, and he basically said, yes, so in sales, it's unlimited. He was like, unlimited potential. He said, with me, he said, right now, I'm worth $2 million. I'll never forget this. He said, he's probably making $200,000 a year. And he said, I'm worth $2 million right now. Like, my value, my total worth, net worth, everything. My abilities, what I have, everything is worth $2 million, right? $2 million. He said, you're worth $300,000. You just got to find someone that will pay you that.